Hello, my name is D'Angelo Webster, general dentist, and you've probably found this page because either you know me from the Practice Biopsy Facebook group or blog, or you referred here by a colleague. So the purpose of this video is that I've been getting a lot of questions about the Practice Ownership CE course. So instead of answering the same questions again and again, which I've been doing, I've decided to just put together this quick video. It's really informal, just me here on my laptop talking to you guys, so that you can be informed and say, hey, this program is something like I'm looking for, it's something I'm interested in. Or you can be informed and say, nah, I'm going to pass on this one. So if you stick through to the end of this video, things should be clear. We're going to see some inside samples of the content that's in the program and really talk through all the details. So by the end, you should know if this is the right fit for you or not. So if you advance to the next page, you'll also get some written details. There's a link either above or below this video. Okay, so basically, in my opinion, the Practice Launch Program is the most comprehensive dental practice ownership program that's available. This is opposed to a practice management program. I make a distinction between a practice ownership CE and a practice management CE. So a practice management CE is the more traditional, how do you grow your practice 10x? How do you take a $1 million practice to a $3 million practice? How do you improve that? This is not what that is. This is to take employee dentists, dental residents, and dental students from that first moment where you think, I think I want to be a practice owner. I think I'm ready to start the process of learning how to own a practice, to the point of actually doing so and having a successful first year. Okay, so unlike a lot of other dental CE that's out there, especially some of the online CE programs, there's no upsell. There's no higher level services that we're going to sell later, or nothing I'm going to try to get you to sign up with. Very simple, very transparent program. I'm not taking money to endorse other companies. I'm not getting any kickbacks from anything that I recommend or any companies that I work with. None of that. So you're going to know exactly what you're getting. Part of the reason that I made this course is I just like making resources like this. I like making educational resources. And this goes back to when I was in dental school. I wrote a book which debuted in the top 1% of Amazon sales and was #1 in the professional school, medical and dental school admissions category for 4 years. I just like creating educational resources and working with you guys. So in my Facebook group, you very likely have seen my daily vlog videos that take you behind the scenes of running my practice from day one to the present time. You've probably seen me post my monthly profit and loss statements. You've seen my successes, my struggles, and all the truths of practice ownership. And with this program, I want to kind of enlighten the dentists who are trying to get into ownership to a new perspective. A perspective that you don't have to go into crazy amounts of debt to open a practice. You don't have to spend $1 million or even $500,000 to open a practice. I did mine for less than $100,000, and there's other dentists that I teach how to do that. And that's not something you have to do, but it'll be in your toolkit. You'll say, I know how to efficiently open a practice for this much by doing it in this manner. You don't have to wait 1.5 years to 2 years to make a profit. The average startup takes that long before the owner dentist can really pay themselves. But with the right approach, you can pay yourself from the first month. If you're going to buy a practice, if you're going to do an acquisition, many dentists make the mistake of buying for convenience. They're buying a practice because it's the convenient one to buy, not because it's the right one to buy, which is the worst thing you can do. So many dentists buy a practice thinking that they're going to make more money and have more freedom, but they end up with less money, more stress, and less freedom because it was the wrong practice that they bought. They didn't buy it because it was the right practice. They bought it because it was the convenient practice. Okay, so I started preparing for practice ownership way back in dental school. I had a thesis project that I did where I studied dental offices all around the state, and I drove to the offices and I met the owners and I interviewed the owners on what worked, what didn't, their journey to practice ownership, and I looked for trends of what worked and what didn't. And we went through their numbers, their finances, and I had this huge accumulation of data, which was my thesis project for dental school. I also did business CE in dental school. I did as much as I could. I audited business classes in the university's Ross School of Business. And after all of that, when the time came to actually do it, I realized I still didn't know what I was doing. And there were still so many gaps in my knowledge and still so many mistakes that I was making that I didn't have to make. And what I realized was that those CE things and my conversations with those dentists and sitting in on business classes and reading business books, they were all too high level. They were too general. And opening a dental office or buying and successfully running a profitable dental office is a very specific thing. Okay, so you could take something, very broad as an example, team building philosophies. A lot of these programs and courses teach team building philosophies, like how to hire the right people, but they might skip over the fact that there's like 10 different things you have to do before you can even legally hire an employee. They're saying, oh, look for this in the interview, this is how you build your dream team, but you don't even know the 10 things you legally need to do to be able to hire that person once you've selected them. Okay? And not only know what those 10 things are, but then how do you do those things? And it's very different. It's a very different concept. So Practice Launch is designed to be the easy decision. It's designed to be kind of the no-brainer. I've designed it as a comprehensive solution containing step-by-step to every solution that you would need to become a successful practice owner. So I want to just hop over here and show a quick little email that I got from one of my students in the program that kind of tells of his experience with that. So if we hop right over here, we've got a little review, a little bit of feedback that one of my program students wrote me. It says, hey D'Angelo, sorry it took some time to get back to you. Here's my review. Feel free to use it anywhere. Just like your willingness to help other dentists and share your content, you have my consent to use this wherever you want. So he said, I have been following D'Angelo for quite some time now, and when I came across this post on Facebook about his startup course called Practice Launch, I was very intrigued. So I decided to look into it and decided to make a move. I'm so glad I did. Just one video alone on supply saved me easily $5,000. What really differentiates this course from other courses out there is in its detail, which is what I was going for. It talks about something as minor as how to do payroll, taxes, x-ray registration, HIPAA, sharps disposal, and etc. I mean, these are very minor tasks, but it's important, and I haven't found any course out there that talks about how these things are done in one course. I highly recommend this course to anyone that wants or is thinking about doing a startup at some point in the future. You will not regret it. He will literally show you how things are done step by step. Wait for my list of questions, as I still have some other videos to watch. Again, thanks. My hope is that's everyone's experience. That is a pretty common experience that someone who goes through the program will have. And if you want more reviews or feedback or anything like that, just let me know. I want you to, again, be informed when you're making your decision. So I want to help lead you on a path towards freedom in your ability to have income and practice dentistry. Okay, I want to show you how to start a practice for less than $100,000. I want to show you how to design a practice, either one that you've bought or one that you're starting from scratch that has 30 to 40% overhead, not the traditional 65-70% overhead. Okay, meaning that you're going to get paid, if you have 30 to 40% overhead, you'll get paid 60 to 70% of your collections versus 25 to 35% of collections like your associate job. So do the math on that. How much would you be making? 300K, 400K, 500K, more? I can let you talk to other dentists who practice with these philosophies. You'll probably have already talked to some of them in the Practice Biopsy Face group. Send me a message. I'll put you in touch, or you can talk to me. Okay? This course is not a motivational course. This is not something to just dabble with if you're kind of toying with the idea of being an owner. Maybe it's something I want, maybe it's not. This is not like a 2-day weekend seminar. Practice Launch is designed for people who know that ownership is what they want and are ready to start making that happen now. Okay? So this is not a classic presentation style CE program where you sit in front of a speaker for a couple of hours and then go back and try to implement. This is an action-based program, and we're going to take a look at some of that content in just a few moments. Okay? But with the program, you're going to get complete instructional blueprint, complete instructional guide to practice ownership. So you cannot just get things started, but get things started the right way, efficient and highly profitable. Okay, so let's take a look over at some of the course material. So this is a preview into what the interface page looks like with the Practice Launch Ownership Course program. And as you can see, there's a little completion bar over here right now, 0% complete, but it's going to track your progress through the program, and you'll kind of be able to kind of see how you're moving along with things. So here you're going to see a list of plethora of topics that we're going to really take a really deep dive into. Okay, so with this program, there are 47 modules pertaining to the business of dentistry. Okay, and one of the key components of each of the modules is a lecture on each topic. So when we look at the lecture, it's going to be something like this. So how to get financing lecture. So you'll hit play. This video is about a half an hour here, okay? And then I'll just skip through the video a little bit. So you'll have the content, you'll have the lecture. It's an interactive one, so you'll have me in the corner of the screen explaining the material, talking you through it, explaining all the content on the various topics, okay? So we'll go through those. I'll hit pause. And we'll just go back to this list here for kind of a broad overview of some of the topics. So we're going to see topics like forming a corporation, building a professional team, accounts receivable, what insurances do I need, dental assistant duties, front desk staff duties, dental IT services, ordering supplies, working with labs, brand building, dental practice marketing, writing your business plan, how to get financing, buying dental equipment, understanding PPO insurance, registering X-ray units, setting up Google profile, practice phone systems, dental software, HIPAA basics, dental websites, submitting insurance claims, procedure profit margins, profit and loss, finding a location, evaluating practice to buy, renting a space, design principles, build-out principles, how to run insurance, PPO negotiation, insurance credentialing, how to minimize your fixed costs, key performance indicators, how to get paid, how to set fees, staffing your practice, how to hire employees, payroll taxes, paying your taxes, prescription writing, sharps and needle sticks, mandatory signage and posting. You're going to have the practice launch kit 1, 2, 3 here, where you're going to get new patient forms already made for you, post-op forms already made for you, consents, letters made, writing your office manual. At the end here, there is a quiz which is optional for you to take. You can get 22 hours of credit. Okay, so you can say, well, that's great. That's great, Doc. The lecture was great, and I understand the concept, but how do I actually do that? And the how do I actually do that part is, in my opinion, where most educational resources kind of fall off. And I feel like that's one of the most, if not one of the defining features of this program, is the how do I do it part. So pretty much every one of the 47 modules is going to come along with a hands-on demonstration where we walk through all of the things together, and I actually not tell you but show you together how we actually accomplish and implement the things that we've learned in the lecture portion of the module. So let's go back on over there and I'll show you an example. So here is a screen capture of a portion of the program for the Forming Your Corporation module. So this is the hands-on portion. So what does that mean? So in the lecture portion, we've had a lecture on how to form a corporation. Here in the hands-on, when we hit the play button, we will actually go through a screen capture of actually forming a corporation. We're actually going to go on the websites that we have to go on. We're actually going to do all of the paperwork together. I'm going to do the paperwork with you so that you actually know how to do all this stuff. And I've circled the key points, highlighted the key things, so that you actually know how to do all this stuff. I go right on the website, I show you where to click, and I teach you how to do all these different things. All right, so let's look at another one. Evaluating a practice to buy. So let's say, okay, you know what, I don't want to do a startup. I want to buy a practice. So in the hands-on section, we're going to have a dental practice evaluation form that you're going to get. This is just one example of many. There's 47 modules, okay? So there's going to be a criteria on the practice evaluation form, which you can kind of see there, okay? And then we're actually going to look at some practices, and we're going to talk about them, okay? So we're going to look at the prospectus for these practices, and we're going to talk through, is this a good deal or not? We're going to do an analysis real time, and I'm going to sit there and I'm going to talk through these with you, okay? So we're going to look at all these numbers together. We're going to look at the P&Ls. We're going to look at the staffing. We're going to look at all of this stuff, okay? The office operation information. We're going to look at all of this data, and we're going to walk away knowing how to properly evaluate a practice so you don't have to ask some random dentist, is this a good deal to buy? You're actually going to know if it's a good deal to buy this practice because you're going to have a system and you're going to be able to understand it very thoroughly from doing these hands-on demonstration walkthroughs, okay? We're going to go through all of this, all right? And I'll show you one more of the hands-on. So let's say you want to do a startup, okay? So build out essentials. We're going to go through stuff like this. So right here, what the heck is this? I didn't know as a dental student. I didn't know as an associate dentist. So these are like the engineering drawings, the blueprints, the schematics. I designed my own practice, so I had to learn a lot about this. But even if you're not going to go that far, when a contractor shows you these kinds of documents, you should be able to understand them so that you don't get taken advantage of and you can communicate regarding what you really want. So we're going to go through documents like this, and I'm going to teach you how to interpret them, how to understand them, and what to do with them, okay? So I created these things with the goal of preparing you and saving you time. Lots of docs work like 5 to 8 years as an employee trying to learn ownership skills by osmosis. And some people are okay with that, but my goal is to save you that 5 to 8 years of opportunity cost when you're just trying to figure things out. So I thought, well, what is an area where I spent a lot of time? So refining my business plan, my office manual, my written down systems, inventory sheets, list of supplies, all associated, all the associated costs with that. So in order to save you time, all of these are going to be yours in the Practice Launch Tools section. There's going to be templates, patient letters, health history forms, done. Business plan, done. Office manual, done. Treatment presentation forms, done. Profitability calculator tools and other calculator tools that I've made, done. Supply vendor cost analysis spreadsheets, done. And these are all totally built, totally prepared for you to have and use, okay? So just a look into the toolkit. I'll show you one of the calculators. We've got calculators like this. So this is the Practice Biopsy Procedure Profit Margin Calculator. Okay, so with any procedure you're doing, there's many of these available. This is a restorative one, so you'll have your supplies, cost per unit. You just plug in the values. The calculator's already set up, and you can see your profit margin per procedure. Little tools like this that just make it so much more efficient to run your practice and gives you such a better detailed understanding than the average dentist is going to have. All these tools are made and available for you. There's tons of these in here. There's tools for essentially all of the 47 modules that are available. And you're going to have, again, the 3 parts, the lecture, the how-to, hands-on demonstration, and the toolkit you're going to have available, okay? Because I want you to stop spending time thinking about how to become an owner, how to figure it out, okay? And instead spend your time actually doing it, okay? So let's say you've done this. You're going through your 47 modules, you've done the demonstrations, you've done the worksheets, you've read the manuals, and this is already so far beyond the pale of a traditional CE course that I honestly hesitate to even call this a CE course. It truly is a training and implementation program. And with a normal CE course, you're going to go home and just maybe you've got a question, like something didn't make sense. And then you got to kind of figure it out from that point. But with Practice Launch, I'm fully available to you to consult with you on your project. So if you're looking at 3 practices to buy and you want input, which of these, I know that the program said this, but I'm not really sure. There's these 3, they all look good. Give me a call. Send me an email. We'll talk about it. If your startup is opening in a month and you have a problem with your marketing idea, give me a call. Send me an email. We'll work out your plan together. How many CE teachers are going to do that for you? Because of all of this, Practice Launch really is the best use of your resources and time if ownership is something that you're serious about doing soon. This is a program that I've spent a significant amount of time developing with the intent of building this community of outstanding practice owners who really have freedom and aren't going to be slaves to a low-paying associate job, who aren't going to be slaves to their student loan debt, who aren't going to be stuck in a bad, efficient practice now that they can't get rid of, or a crappy corporate dentistry job when they know that isn't really how they want to be spending their career. Okay, so this training program is meant for people who are really serious about learning and preparing to be lean, efficient, highly profitable dental practice owners and not wasting time doing other stuff when you know that this is what you really want. So that is what Practice Biopsy and Practice Launch are about. So you want to work together? Let's do it. Click that button.